It's Flannelgraph time. It's Flannelgraph time. Bible stories with Denise and the pastors, and it's Flannelgraph time. Yeah!
Hello, Grace Point kids. We're excited to have you back for another Bible adventure story. I wanted to remind you of where we started with this story, back with Joseph and his brothers who did not like him. They threw him into a well, and then Joseph got sold off to some traders. But then Pharaoh made Joseph in charge of all of Egypt. Joseph was in charge of the land and all of the food. Today we're starting in Canaan, where Joseph's father and brothers live. Joseph's family is out of food, and they're having to travel to Egypt to get food for their family. We're going to start our story now, so everybody put up your hands. We're going to count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Our story starts in the land of Canaan. Jacob, who was Joseph's father, needed food and found out that there was grain in Egypt. So he said to his sons,
"Why do you just keep looking at one another? I've heard there's grain in Egypt. Go down there and buy some for us. Then we will have enough food and not die."
All his sons agreed.
Okay, Dad.
That's a
That sounds
great
like a good
idea.
plan,
I'm
Daddy.
gonna go do that. Dying is just the worst.
So 10 of Joseph's brothers left Canaan because it had no food, and they went down to Egypt to buy grain. But Jacob didn't send his youngest son, Benjamin. He was afraid Benjamin might get hurt. Benjamin was Joseph's little brother. Meanwhile, in Egypt, Joseph was the governor of the land. Pharaoh had put him in charge of the food. He was the one who sold grain to all the people. When Joseph's brothers arrived, the brothers didn't recognize Joseph. They greeted him like he was the governor of Egypt.
Well, hello
Hello.
there.
Nice
Hello,
to
Governor.
meet you,
Mr.
sir.
Egypt,
Hello,
sir.
It's so nice to meet you. Governors are the worst.
But as soon as Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them as his brothers. But he pretended not to know them. He pretended to be a stranger. He spoke to them in a mean way.
Where do you guys come from?
We come from the land of Canaan. We've come to buy food. Can you give us some
I'm
food?
getting
Please, we need food.
Needing food is just the worst.
Joseph recognized his brothers, but they didn't recognize him. Then Joseph remembered his dream about them. He remembered that his brothers threw him in a well. So he said to them,
You are spies. You have come to spy on Egypt.
No, sir.
they answered.
We've come to buy food. All of us are brothers, and Jacob in Canaan is our father. We're honest men. We aren't spies.
No!
Joseph said to them,
You have come to spy on Egypt.
but they replied,
We were 12 brothers. All of us were sons of Jacob. He lives in the land of Canaan. Our youngest brother is Benjamin, and he is with our father right now. And one brother named Joseph is gone.
Joseph said to them,
I still say you are spies. So I'm going to test you. And here's the test. You can be sure that you won't leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here.
So Joseph threw them in jail and kept all of them under guard for 3 days.
3 days later.
On the 3rd day, Joseph spoke to them again. Joseph said to them,
Do what I say, then you will live, because I have respect for God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers stay here in prison. The rest of you may go and take grain back to your hungry families. But you must bring your youngest brother, Benjamin, to me. That will prove that your words are true. Then you won't die."
They said to one another,
God is surely punishing us because of what we did to Joseph. That is why this Egyptian governor is mad at us. Years ago, we saw how upset Joseph was when he begged us to let him live, but we wouldn't listen. That's why all this trouble has come to us in Egypt.
Reuben was the brother who tried to help Joseph. He told his brothers,
"Didn't I tell you not to sin against Joseph? Didn't I try to keep him alive? But you wouldn't listen. Now we're being paid back for killing him."
they didn't realize that Joseph was the Egyptian governor in the room with them. Joseph, in his Egyptian clothes, could understand everything they were saying. Joseph turned away from his brothers and began to cry because he was sad remembering them.
My brothers.
Then he came back and spoke to them again. He had his brother Simeon taken and tied up right there in front of them. He was going to make Simeon stay in the jail in Egypt until they came back with his little brother Benjamin. Joseph gave orders to have each of his brothers' bags filled with grain for their families to eat. Then he had each of his brothers' money that they paid put back into their bags. He wasn't making them pay for the food. He also made sure that they were given enough supplies traveling on their journey. Then the brothers loaded their grain on their donkeys.
Donkeys are just so adorable.
And they left to go back to their father Jacob in Canaan.
Aw.
So that was our story for today. We have been learning that Joseph's brothers were very mean to him. And when Joseph saw them in Canaan, he wanted to be mean right back to them. But Joseph decided to treat them with love instead. And he gave them enough grain to feed all of their families. And he also sent them off with enough supplies to take care of them while they were traveling. Sometimes people can be mean to us too. But because we have Jesus with us, he wants us to love them back, no matter how mean people can be. I want you to have a great day today. Come back with us next week to learn another Bible adventure. See you later. Bye-bye.
It's Flannelgraph time. It's Flannelgraph time. Bible stories with Denise and the pastors, and it's Flannelgraph time. Yeah!
Oh, yeah, I forgot.